I hate my daughter. I wrote my confession on another site once before, and it was almost cursed there. It's been a couple of years, but nothing has changed. My soul has not become easier, and again, I want to speak out and repent. Although no, I do not want to repent. I hate my child. I, as a mother, do not love my child. That when she was an infant, I took care of her, and it seemed to me that I truly loved her. I couldn't help it. I'm a mother. But gradually the doubts crept in, and they ate at my soul. And the older my daughter got, the less love and more hatred I felt. At inertia, I still cared for her, worried about her. I did what everyone else did. One day, when my daughter was 3 years old, she and I were almost hit by a car. And I suddenly thought how calm and happy I would have lived if I hadn't had time to move the stroller away from the approaching truck. I remember going into her little girl's bedroom. She should have been awake by now and listening. And what if she's not breathing? Sudden infant death syndrome can happen. You listen, not with fear, but with hope. My daughter is no different from her peers, pretty, good at school, socializing with friends, helping around the house, not being rude and calling back if she stays late somewhere. And relatives praise her. Teachers and tutors adore her. My daughter's love for me, for her mother, is the worst thing because I hate her. Because I hate her. And I do not call her daughter, only by name. I do not just dislike her touch. I do not like the way she dresses, how and what she says, how she moves, how she laughs. Everything about her annoys me. I want her to die and disappear from my life. I do not tell her this, but indirectly my attitude to her is clear, and the child feels it perfectly. I cannot and will not pretend, and I do not strive for it. I'm serving the duty of raising a child like a prison sentence. I feed her, do her laundry, make sure she's healthy. And I dream of pushing her into an independent life, away from me. Anyone, I don't love her, and I don't want to love her. All I want is for her to be gone. I'm living in hell, and I don't have the strength to get out of it. It's not my fault that I don't love my child. Or is it? I'll comments. You say scary things. I feel sorry for your daughter. The worst thing for children is a parent's dislike and even hate. In my mother's case, she gave birth to me at 40. She did not want children until she was 30, as she was the eldest daughter in the family, and the youngest was dumped on her. But by the age of 30, she wanted to have children, had a long treatment, and gave birth to me at 40. Dear author, her husband, my beloved father, died when I was 18 years old, and my mother was sick with a severe form of arthritis. If I was not there, she would have to pay someone else, as he always lived with her, or strain relatives who have their own problems a lot. And since there is me, I take care of her. Put her on her feet now, did surgery, but she still needs help all the time. Think about it. First, you take care of her, and then she takes care of you. She will respond to you with love if you love her. Natalia, you're not a normal woman. You can't make yourself love someone else, but your child can't not love you, especially if the child is smart and excellent. I feel sorry for her. She was deprived of the most precious thing. I grew up with my grandparents. They adored me but still wanted a mom and dad. But it's all small things, don't like it, God forbid, but wishing she wasn't there. It's too much. Think about it. Maybe it's better that you weren't there. Maybe it would be better if you were hit by a truck and then everyone would feel better. That we harassed. At the earliest opportunity, I'll ask my mother why she hates me so much. And I was slim, and were always complimenting me, and I had gorgeous curly hair. My grades were great, and they praised me starting in kindergarten. I had plenty of credits. I drew beautifully and sang in the choir. In general, I was always good, but I have a little brother. He constantly terrorized me, lied about me to my mother. Insults and beatings happened almost every day until I got married. Everything is good in our family. Nobody cheats on anybody. And my mother was married twice. The man who gave birth to me left when I was 3 years old. Our son looks like me and my father. In short, there are probably a couple of reasons from the above that make me hate my mom just as much. The girl will grow up, or maybe she already has. She'll fly out of her mama's nest as long as she is alive and well. But she's guaranteed to get a great husband, LA. The woman who wrote this about her daughter needs to see a psychiatrist immediately. She is mentally ill and needs help. It's someone who really deserves it. I read a story about hating a child and decided to write my own. A team in myself. I wasn't bullied as a child, but I was gifted with a sense of abandonment, so I always had to stand up for myself. 2 years before I became pregnant, my family dumped my terminally ill grandfather on me, also after a stroke. Grandmother simulant seemed enough, and she decided to add imaginary illness. And so that I never relaxed at all, at least once a week she staged a scene of dying, her own or my grandfather's. Opposite or all the basic self-care was passed on to me, leaving myself only the preparation of tea. As soon as I left their place at 12 a.m., I was woken up 2 hours later with another emergency. They drove me to hysteria, and I, stupid, rescued them all. When I got pregnant unexpectedly, it threw everyone off the chain. Grandma completely abandoned Grandpa to me and my mom and took off to see her first daughter. Grandfather became completely bedridden and died 6 months later in a hospice, where he had been placed with a struggle the week before. I myself was in a car accident in the 6th month, then I had to move and make repairs on my own in the 9th month. I had to drive to the cottage for repairs. I drove to the cottage, and in general, I was still driving the day before I went to the maternity hospital. The father of the child left me 10 times during the pregnancy and twice in the 3 months after it. He raised his hand at me until I had to defend myself. He threatened to deprive me of my parental rights during the pregnancy and once on the eve of the birth, putting as much pressure on me as he could. He sent me to get an abortion, threatening to break up with me. I even found in his possession a printout with a prescription for the drug Mifeprex, a medication used for pregnancy termination with side effects circled in marker strangely similar to how I felt at the time. The aunt of my grandmother also threatened me with many strange things. Apparently, there were some issues with inheritance. In general, no one stood aside, not to take advantage of the situation. But I love my baby girl, especially my grandmother and the so-called father of the child, even my late grandfather, whom I loved very much and did everything I could for him. The dog was also seriously ill and had to be put down. Everything from grocery shopping to buying doors and building again falls on me, and the baby is only a few months old. My nerves are frayed, and I'm angry at everything. Everything I did before pregnancy, it turns out, I did for nothing, all for nothing. I regret the time, nerves, and health I spent. If I had known about this betrayal, I never would have helped them all. I would never have wanted to know them. They exploited and abused my kindness beyond measure, while praising themselves for their generosity, doing me a great favor, giving me problems, and making me feel unworthy of a normal life. Relationships. I to earn it all, give it my all, 200%, for what everyone has by default. And all I got in return was betrayal and a life from scratch. I hate them so much. It seems to me that it is worth redirecting my hatred to the right addressee, the one who caused it. I don't know how to get rid of it at all. Just hang in there, Maria. I can't believe that one person can go through so much. You must be happy at last. Good luck to you, Paulina. God give you all the best. You deserve it. You have suffered so much. Let go of your resentment so that it doesn't destroy you from the inside. Yukiko, don't regret taking care of your old grandfather. In my family, he's been living for 8 years, too. After my grandmother died, her favorites, the oldest daughter and grandson, chose to just leave him to live out his life. My mother and I took him to live with us. He says to me every morning, "Thank you for being there." He recently became a great-grandfather. He's 90.5 years old and adores his great-grandson. In terms of other relatives, you just have to distance yourself from them both morally and financially. Good luck and good health to you.